positive live chat experience for you and your viewers. Choose who can participate. Set a delay between messages. Hide or put people in timeout. I can do that. Manage messages held for review. Add moderators to your channel. Okay, interesting. Whoa, there's all sorts of settings now. What is this? All right, guys, I haven't been on YouTube Live in the longest, so I figured, why not? Might as well come in here, get up to date with the tools, what have you on here. I don't know what any of these buttons are, so I'm gonna hop on here. If you have any fishing questions or anything, feel free to type them. Welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Got it. How do I make that disappear? Someone type something to see if I can see any comments. Like, this looks completely different than the last time I went on live on here. So let's see. What is this button? Green screens. Whoa, no, I do not want a green screen. No, that was weird. Okay, so what is this? Let's check this, but I'm just going to start pressing stuff, guys. Highlight, save to your channel. Uh-oh. What did I do? SG, hello. Okay, cool. All right, I can see the comments here. I'm just checking out what all these new buttons are. I'll do some Q&A. Any fishing questions? Retouch on? Whoa, I don't know what that was. Oh, okay, that blocks my camera. Don't want to do that. Then that flips the camera. You guys watch a lot of these lives. How do you, can you add guests on this, like other live people, or do they have to have a certain amount of subs to come on to? Let's learn. What is this? Start a poll. Start a Q&A. Oh, that's cool. Very cool. What is this? I'm pressing everything. Copy link. Okay. Oh, so that's how I could share it. Very cool. You guys at work? What are you doing? Hanging out at home? Anybody out fishing? I was just in my shop, just respooling a bunch of stuff and regathering stuff up. I did Instagram Live a couple hours ago. Then I went on Facebook, and Facebook kept glitching and crashing. Then I did the TikTok thing. I don't know how much live I'm going to do on TikTok because certain lure names, it's like banning people from what I'm hearing. Like, if you say the name of certain lures, because it sounds like bad words and everything else, like they're just banning people left and right. So I probably won't do that. But I want to start doing a bunch of live stuff again. I enjoy going on live and talking to people and hanging out and answering fishing questions. Instagram got all crazy about Swimbait conversation, so I was teaching a ton of stuff about swimbaits earlier. I probably should have recorded all that. That would have been just good content to post. But very cool, very cool. Any fishing questions, guys? I wanted to come on here and check it out. I figured I'd answer some fishing questions, hang out here for maybe 10, 15 minutes or so. If you are here, if you can press the like button, I'd appreciate that too. That's always a good win. I didn't realize how critical the algorithm was nowadays on YouTube. For those of you watching live, most people do not get notifications from my channel anymore for some reason. I am posting content. I'm posting instructionals. I got like a fishing game show coming up that I'm going to be posting all on my YouTube channel, and a series that I'm going to start, possibly pros on ponds. That's where I go back with different big name pros, and we go back to the community ponds that they grew up fishing, like inner city stuff, and we bank fish. So I think it's going to be really cool to see top level tour pros and myself included back where I grew up fishing in those neighborhood ponds and stuff like that. So it should be really cool. I need to catch my first bass of the year. You must be in a cold state. You should be able to get one right now. What state are you in? Brad S., what's the story with all those swim baits? There was a lot of questions about people getting into swim baiting earlier and stuff on Instagram. So what their first ones should be, what they should throw them on. Cali, SoCal. Oh, you should be able to go get your first bass, man. Those morning water temperatures down there should be about 59, 60 degrees. Focus on the bottom, drop shots, shaky heads, underspins, little swim baits with underspins on them. You should be able to get them down there. Low and slow, but the fish are going to be bedding down there probably within about a week and a half, too. So you're going to get a lot of shallow water activity, man. So get out there. No, it's just teaching people, what setups to use, what are good, affordable beginner swim baits. Like, for example, the Savage Gear Shine Glide. I still throw this all the time. I've caught more giant bass on this than any other. It's a $24 glide bait. Literally, I have 6 double digits on the 185 and a couple on the 9-inch version as well. Those two 20-pound stripers that I posted this last spring. We're both on the 9-inch. That's why they beat it up and smashed it into the rocks and everything else. So I gotta go get that. Gotta go get that one painted, or put a new foil on there, new skin or something. Caught a trout on a Senko. That's fun. Hopefully you ate it, man. As long as it's a planter trout, eat them. Hey, sir, how are you? Big Mike Fishing Chronicles. Doing really good, Mike. Thanks, man. What's your #1 glide bait choice for the motherlode lakes? Depending, if I'm targeting 3 to 6 pounders, I'm going to throw Golden Shiner or the trout pattern in the Savage Gear Shine Glide. That's what I throw the most of. There's the new Soft Shine Glide, which I've been throwing a ton too. That really excels for, let me grab it for you. That really excels for shallow water. Here it is. So this is the new one that I released a crazy viral video on my Facebook. This is the Soft Shine Glide. That's the lime through one. This all clips into the body so it holds flush like that. This bait is really good. If they're within a few feet of water or they're coming up over the top of the trees, this bait, you work it like a fluke. You don't just cast and wind. It doesn't have that side-to-side glide like a typical glide. But man, I crushed a couple of big ones late fall when I first got my hands on it. So the Soft Shine Glide is going to be a major player. The 185 Shine Glide, most affordable, super fishy. I just get so many eats on that bait, man. And literally, I have it all. I've got the Roman Maids. I've got the Gancrafts. I've got them all, man. But the Savage Gear Shine Glide, cheap. I can throw it up near bridge columns, over the top of treetops, and I'm not concerned about losing it because it's not a $200 bait. $100 baits versus a $250 bait, I never wanted to take the risk that I would with the more affordable glide bait, so I was kind of babying them, and that's not what you want to do when it comes to throwing swim baits. But if I'm aiming for the big ones, I'm going to throw the Magnum Shine Glide. Basically 5 pounders and up, I'm throwing the 9-inch, but I'm throwing that in the trout pattern. The Golden Shiner pattern for the 9-inch doesn't seem to have the draw on the motherlode lakes like the trout does. I think they get used to eating all those planter trout. Let's see. I want to learn how to retrieve those glide baits. I worked a Sneaky Pete last year, but haven't caught anything on it yet. I shot a Wired to Fish special. If you type in InformativeFisherman glide baits into YouTube, you'll see the Wired to Fish special, and it's all about the general outline of how to throw glides and how to present it, whether you're in deep rocky reservoirs or if you're in shallow grassy lakes. That one could really help you out. If you DM me, well, you can't do that on YouTube. You can DM me on Instagram. I do get those. And I can send you the link, but you should be able to find it. I think it's their #1 swim bait video. I thought the more expensive the bait, the bigger the bass. Well, that's how the internet would show you. No, it's not the case, but yeah, no, I get it. But no, sometimes like the big customized baits, like for example, 16-inch trout. All right, I've got 2 fish on that. This was never made for bass, but I think this guy's only like 80 bucks, 100 bucks or something like that. And I had him send it out to me because I wanted to see. I wanted to see what I can do. But I've actually caught 2 bass on that. Let's see. Do you like a split ring or a clip snap on the front of your glide baits, or do you tie direct? You'll see here that there's a tagging cutoff on there. Depending on the split ring, if it's a heavy duty split ring, I will tie on to there. Now you're going to notice nothing on the 185. I'm actually looking at the way the glide's swimming. I tie a loop knot onto here, but a snap is your best bet. If you don't want to learn to tie tons of different style knots, a quick snap is gonna be your best bet by far. You can do a split ring, but a lot of the times, if I don't know the brand of split ring these manufacturers are putting on there, I just won't trust it. What happens is some split rings have little edges in them where they meet together, and it could cause a fray in your line. So the quick snap's probably your best bet in general, just to take a split ring off the front and use that. Let's see. Can you tell me how to fish a ICBM 120 by River to Sea? I have not used that lure. I don't even know what that is. I've never been a big River to Sea fan, not hating, but nothing's ever really done it for me. I've cracked a lot of, like the S-Waver was pretty good in the past. I caught a lot of fish on that, but I've just found a lot of other more affordable baits that kind of outfished everything. So I kind of just lost a taste for them. BSE, have you used one during the spawn for bass? I didn't get my initial BSE samples until the end of June last year when I designed it. So no, I have not got to fish them around bedding fish yet. That will be soon though, and I guarantee it's going to absolutely smash. I've been smashing on them since January. Like, it never ended. The BSE has been catching them nonstop. If you guys don't know what the BSE is, that's the Big Bite Baits makes it. It's the best skipper ever. That's the lure I designed for them. I did not mean to name it the BSE. Like, I thought that they thought that I thought I wanted to name it the BSE because I said, guys, this is literally the best skipping bait I've ever touched. And they go, oh, or I said the best skipper ever. And then they just took that as like, that's what I want to name it. I thought the name was kind of corny, but whatever. BSE it is, man. It's a phenomenal freaking bait that backslides. I guess I could show you a BSE. Why not? Do I have any in here? I think they're all in my boat right now. Yeah, never mind. They're all in my boat right now. I guess I have to show you guys the BSE later. I mean, I got tons of videos of me skipping them and showing it. I seen a bunch of comments rolling in. Hold on, gang. Slow down on the comments for a second and I'll answer them all. Hello, how are you doing today? I love bass fishing. Yeah, me too, Chris. Doing pretty good, man. You skipped my question. Coach Miguel, post it again, brother. Sorry. Intercontinental ballistic missile. All right. Yeah, I don't know. Is it a Topwater? What? Oh, okay. Almost got me to say it. All right, let me look for Coach Miguel's comment on here. If you were going to fish Berryessa right now, what would you be using? Alabama rig, for certain. Jerk bait, underspin, big glides, and a big bottom boot tail too, like a RTF pulse tail. Something like down those lines right there. There's still a lot of trout, planter trout roaming around. There is schooling fish busting. A-rig for sure is going to murk them. Always does at that place. I would look for offshore humps near outside of spawning flats. Longer tapering points for certain are going to play big time. Forward facing minnow, no doubt. It's basically a one-piece glide bait that has no joint. Inspiration comes from one-piece musky glides. Ah, I get what you're saying. Hold on. So I have some of these. So like these, the musky glides. Yeah, so they're just all slow sinking. It's walk the dog, man. It's a walk the dog action. You need a fast action rod for sure. something over 7 foot, preferably 7'4" to 7'6", you're gonna pop, reel, pop, reel, pop, reel, pop, reel, and that's just gonna walk the dog subsurface. The nice part about those is you can wrench on them pretty hard because they're wire through, and they're pretty strong too, so you can bang them up against structure and cover and bridge pilings. How much scoping is going on in the Delta? We don't know about. So Jason, unless it's the new version, as you're moving along with forward-facing sonar, so I don't run forward-facing on my sponsor boat. A couple of my friends' boats that I fish with as well do have it on there. I do have forward-facing on my private lake boat that I manage the lake with, that I live on as well. So when you're moving and there's vertical grass, elodea, whatever, anything that's growing, tall grass, you're not making out the fish unless they pass directly under the graph. Last second, you'll notice like you're seeing fish last second going under there. If you have power poles or the boat is stationary, you can see directly through the grass. For bed fishing, forward-facing sonar on the Delta will 100% work. Man, it's so kind of unethical, man. I don't even like it. So it does play. I've had it play a couple of times, January and February. We put the poles down where we weren't catching any reactionary fish and absolutely smoked them. I think a lot of guys are not realizing that's the combination that you need to do. You have to slow down a lot. And technically, most bass fishermen on the Delta do not like to slow down. Any guys with any sort of history. Hey, 38 people in here. Can I get some more thumbs up? I only got 11 on right now. And I'm answering questions and hanging out. So I appreciate the love back. I have a question for you, Chris Curtis. Hey, what's up, Nick? Hey, what's up, Robert? Jason Matthews. Golden Mussel is going to close a lot of lakes is the rumor. Right now, there's a lot of people, tournament directors. I know Maloney's staff just went through a cleansing process, learning. They're trying to make it more convenient, but I don't think the numbers are going up. I haven't heard about any possible closures other than Lake Comanche. Everything else, you just have to go through the sterilization process, which is kind of a pain. You got to make an appointment, but I know a lot of places are doing it for free. So hopefully we'll get through this golden mussel thing. All right, let's see. Jason Matthews. Pedro, Los Banos, McClure is the talk. Pedro has been fishing slow. It was good all winter. Now it's finally slowing down. LBM, the LBC is fishing great. McClure never slowed down. McClure's been fishing good, constant. It's great spotted bass fishery and some big ones. A lot of Alabama strains are showing up. Chu Chang, if you could pick just one glide bait for fishing and targeting Delta stripers, what one would it be? The High Viz 185 Shine Glide. As you can see right there, I did 80-pound braid. I take the split ring off. And it's what I refer to as braid swivels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before it binds, okay? Stripers will death roll and pop your split rings off. The High Visibility 185 Shine Glide has murdered so many freaking stripers for me. It's unbelievable. You can ride it high in the water column. It's got a wide glide. You can let it drop down and rip it fast and in front of them. It's phenomenal. I don't know anything else that can beat it. What would it be? Let's see. Just Call Me Dino. Think we will get a salmon season this decade? Man, let me tell you something. I caught 5 salmon this year on complete accident, just bass fishing and striper fishing. I think a lot of these hatchery fish are getting confused by water diversion for irrigation and farming. And I think they kind of just need to open the regs up to fish everywhere for the salmon, because the numbers were not that low for what I was seeing in the river, unless the vast majority of salmon are getting lost, and that's an entirely different problem. I'm hoping maybe this year, maybe, but I doubt it. I don't know what they're trying to do with that, but I hope so. Let's see. Robert, Is it rattle trap time now? It 100% is. I caught 5 yesterday in about 30 minutes on a rattle trap, but I had some other content to shoot. But rattle trap is absolutely smoking them. Rattle trap's great from 50 degrees and up, man. It's a great cold water bait too. You just got to drag it on the bottom. Any word on party with the mussel inspections? You know what? That's one I should find out about. I know they were closed out, and hopefully their staff's learning about the decontamination, but I know that was like a privately owned deal for a long time. Let me ask. I got a friend who knows the owners over there, and let me see what I can find out. I'll throw it in my Instagram stories if you follow me on there. BBT put up some good weights at Pedro. They did. Yeah, they did. It's been hit or miss over there, man. I was watching Christian with his last victory over there, and I could see his face. Like he was covering a lot of water. He's probably burning a tank a day to get 15, 16 pounds. So versus how I was fishing in November and December, ain't even close. You could have doubled that. Okay, AB916 for cut bait or striper fishing, which do you prefer, sardine or anchovy? For cut bait, like you're rolling them. Historically, like anchovies, if they're just coming in from the bay, sardines if you're, I guess, out in front of the gate, man. But I don't really bait fish anymore. But dude, if you're fishing stationary, chicken livers is going to slaughter both of those. My old school video on brain rigging still works, man. So YouTube, Informative Fisherman, brain rigging, and literally fresh chicken livers outfish both of those. It's funny like that. Jason Matthews, top 5 setups for pre-spawn Delta largemouth. Double Willow all red spinner baits, 3/8 ounce. 4.8 pro swimmer with an underspin, like a Texas rig underspin with a 4.8 Kitech style pro swimmer is the one I use by Big Bait. Then you're going to have your Senko. Of course, your wacky Senko is going to be a massive player. A 1/2 ounce chatterbait, definitely going to be a big player. Dark green is going to play mid-spawn right now. Dark red, black, and blue. It's going to work if you're on those main channel areas because it's still pretty dirty. Last but not least, square bills. All red square bills. Any rip-rap near spawning areas or adjacent just outside of spawning areas is always how I catch a couple of double digits every year. What part of the Delta holds the most big fish? South or central? Central northeast. Not far east, not far north. Central northeast. So look at it as a whole and draw that picture. Let's see. What conditions should I look for to use the rocker head? When they're on the bottom, the rocker head's amazing. You use it like a yo-yo. With the creature bait, you let it fall to the bottom, slowly yo-yo it up. It gives a lot of vibration. The rocker head's by Headbanger Lures, guys. Very cool setup. And it comes through grass phenomenally well as well. And it's pretty good at not getting snagged around rocks versus a lot of other bottom baits. Crappie still good in the Delta. Yes, the crappie are just entering the spawn. This cold weather snap and wind is going to mess them up a little bit, but the crappie are aggressive around spawning areas, shallow flats, back of dead-end sloughs. You're going to look about 6 foot and shallower. If you have side image or a graph, you will see the divots. And the bottom side image is going to be like a bunch of black dots. If you've ever seen bluegill beds, they're just out deeper. Crappie like to spawn a little bit deeper than the bluegills do. Dead-end sloughs, backwaters, slow water, protected water is where you're going to find them. Throw like a 1/32 ounce or 1/16 ounce jig head with like a 2 or 3 inch white grub. If you're throwing through an area and you don't get bit, they are not there because the males will be crazy aggressive. Robert. Was Pedro clear water at Delvel? It was very dirty. Using dark. Oh, you're talking to somebody else. Sorry. Thanks for the info, bro. I appreciate that. I'll be going to use the chicken liver next time. All right. Fresh chicken liver, man. Fresh. You don't want that frozen stuff. You want that juicy, bloody, and you want sticky thread, and you want 6 to 8 aught circle hooks, man. You cannot miss, and the nice part is with a circle hook, if you set the hook, you don't screw up the whole zone. You start to pull a little bit. If it doesn't hook the striper, they drop it, another striper swoops it up. Dude, it's a no-fail method. But if you see stripers actively working bait, they're not going to scavenge. Striper is a scavenger slash predator. So when they're on predation mode, busting bait, chasing squawfish and stuff like that, they're not going to scavenge. So if you're just looking like Power Lines, Rio Vista, fishing on the bottom, chicken liver is your best bet. They're not chasing bait at that moment. They're roaming, and they'll scavenge off the easy opportunity. Okay, thank you for your info, bro. I appreciate that. I'm reading the same one. Trout Hammer. Yo, what's up, Trout Hammer? Mother Brooks. Nick, I like the country club area. You have a good spot for largemouth nearby. I do. Hey, if you guys can give me a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. Just getting back into fishing. Used to fish a lot with my dad when I was younger. And your channel is super informative. Thanks a lot. Thank you. I appreciate that. I used to fish with my dad a ton too. Now he gets too cold or too hot, too easy. So prime time spring weather's coming up. So I'll get Pops back out there again. I get him in the spring and I get him in the fall. Aside from that, he needs to have special weather. Let's see. Just got a little John boat. Should I be using more plastics? So AB916, so for bass fishing, should you be using more plastics? That's when fish are shallow, and they're going to be really shallow for the next month and a half, 2 months. This is spawn's just about to start. We're a couple of weeks out from the spawn. Typically first full moon, early April. Sometimes that happens at the very end of March. Water temperature needs to be 58 to 60 degrees first thing in the morning. And that first full moon, a lot of big fish are going to start moving shallow. And they'll be there for about a month and a half, 2 months. This is where your soft plastic lures like Senkos, wacky Senkos, creature baits that you can drag up shallow are going to be very, very good. So should you be using more plastics? Yeah, because a lot of the time when reaction baits and hard baits are not cutting the mustard, dragging a soft plastic through there can absolutely catch those cleanup fish. I refer to wacky Senkos and wacky trick worms and drop shots as insurance rigs. I'm just making sure I can ensure myself some success if everything else is not working. Little Rich, Nick, get your smile face on. Bass After Dark, loved your appearance on Debo. Yeah, they are asking me. I'm supposed to be doing the Bass After Dark thing. I don't know when, but Brian's a good buddy. I like Ken too. So yeah, no, I'll definitely be on there. Sometimes I go chime in the comments. Robert, hey Nick, here's a question for you that I got. Using my sticks #1, that's the finesse stick, with a robo worm, 8-pound line, what size hook should I use, #1 or #2? So I'm assuming you're using the 6-inch, because there's 7-inch straight tail robo worms and there's 6-inch straight tail robo worms. Typically, I'm using a #1. That's mosquito hook. That's that tiny little drop shot hooks. Let me see. Yeah, I got some right here. Ugh. So here's #4s. Some #2s. There you go. Let's do a little, yeah. So little tiny mosquito hooks like this. Yeah, your best bet is a #1. It's going to be the most versatile. Sometimes I'll go a little bit bigger if I'm throwing the 7-inch on the Delta. But either #1 or #2, the smaller the hook, you're actually going to get more bites where, like, so a #1's bigger than a #2, guys. And as that progresses, a 4, a 6, and 8, they become smaller. And when you have #1 versus 1/0, 1/0, they progressively become bigger the other way. So 1 is 1/0. Numbers go up, smaller, numbers go bigger, /0. So the #1's more versatile. With the #2, you'll get more bites, but you'll land more fish with the #1. But #1's going to be your best bet. What's your best recommendations for learning how to flip and punch on the Delta? Typically going out with a guide. I am going to be doing courses and lesson classes. So this is something we're going to be calling IFU, Informative Fisherman University, to where it's going to be 150 to 200 a head. This is going to be an 8-hour course that comes with lunch, to where we'll be doing this lakeside, riverside. These are private courses where I'll get me and another friend to do it. So keep a lookout on my Facebook, Instagram. I'll try to post it in my YouTube comment area here as well. Not comment, what's it called? Post, just a regular post instead of posting a video. I'll do it on there because a lot of people have been requesting private hands-on classes. You do have to have a captain's license to guide on the Delta, so I am working on that now, but the private lessons are $750 for a day because I'm dedicating the whole day to do it. So I think the courses would be a lot of fun for you guys. If it's a big course, if it's something I feel like I could teach 20 people at a time, I'll get the cost down. If I'm doing 10 to 15 people, the cost is going to be up close to $200. But if you guys want to do that, definitely, you can always email informativefisherman@gmail and say, hey, put me on your mailing list for any classes you have coming up. And so we're going to do a variety, like swim baits, flipping, punching. I am going to do a skipping one. That's going to be like max 10 people. I'll probably offer a couple of those in the warmer months over the weekends just to teach people. And I'll probably have that at one of the colleges or a pond to where we can really concentrate on your guys' skipping abilities and how to perfect that. Sorry, that was kind of a rant right there. Hey, Nick, have you ever fished in SoCal? When was the last time you fished in SoCal? Believe it or not, I have never fished in SoCal. I have got some requests to go down there, so I would love to do that. My kids are getting a little bit bigger, so I was traveling a lot when my kids, pre-kids, and then when my kids were babies, it wasn't that big of a deal. But now they like to hang out with me a lot when they were younger, but now they're getting older. So I will start traveling a lot more and shooting more content. Typically I'm Florida, and then this fall I'm going to do a lot of Texas shoots, but I'll try to make my way to Southern California, guys. Is Sticks BFS rod would slap? Have you used the number 3 trout hammer? The number 3 is almost BFS, man. Is Sticks going to make a BFS rod? Oh, bet both of you guys back to back. That's crazy. I don't have any immediate plans for a BFS setup, possibly in the future, but I am working on a number 7. And that's going to be a custom big bait rod. That'll be sold separately because I don't think that's part of an essential bass fishing set. And I got 37 people in here, guys. Can I get some extra likes right there? Thumbs up, hit that like button. It really helped me out. If you guys do follow my channel and you don't have the bell notification, please turn that on. For some reason, YouTube stopped showing my subscribers when I was online. I don't know why, unless you have that bell notification on. So I don't typically like requesting likes and bell notifications, but they've kind of put me in a corner, guys, to where I have to do that. When I get on here, I don't want to waste anybody's time or my time. I want to help as much as I can. So do me the favor and hook it up and press the thumbs up for me. What do you think of the Whopper Plopper? So the Whopper Plopper is a fantastic bait. What most people don't know is the original Whopper Plopper way back in the day for muskie and pike was a Tyrant Crusader. I actually got my hands on some of those. One of them's hanging up over here somewhere. And Whopper Plopper is fantastic bait. You get a little bit of wind chop. It's still an inline moving bait. Makes a very different audible noise. They crush it. Savage Gear has the smash tail version, which we have a better balance system so it doesn't spin over on itself, which is really cool. But any plopper style bait is absolutely fantastic. Calm conditions, a little rougher. Like, they get big bites and a lot of bites. So plopper's detrimental to your topwater bass fishing. If you don't have it, you should. Some days they'll eat that topwater over anything else. Yeah, the 6-inch. Yeah, you can use down on the 6-inch, you can use a number 2 rod if you want to get some extra catches in. What I would do is it's called throat hooking. It's where on the point of the hook, if you imagine the point of the hook here, you're actually taking the worm and threading just the point of the hook into the head of the worm. So you're not sliding it down the shaft. You're actually sticking it inside. DM me on Instagram. I'll send you an example of that so you know what to do, brother. But number 2 will work good on there too. Number 1 in general is more versatile for all your sizes. Are you going to get some more orders of the skipping bait? It's great. Yeah, for sure. You're talking about the Big Bite BSE, right, Robert? Trout Hammer. I've had the whole set since 2019. That's what's up, dude. That's what's up. So, I have this idea. I probably should have talked to the rest of the team before I mentioned this. But every year I thought about doing a concept sets where like I make 20 completely different looking sets, like digital camo, the full thing, make it really cool. And we just bump up the price a little bit, and they're only available to Sticks owners. Like the message will only go out. So nobody that doesn't own Sticks even knows about them. So, and then we'll only do a limited run, like 20 sets max, and then we never reprint that run again. I think that'd be kind of awesome to do because I'm like, dude, I would want those. It's mostly for me. I'm just being selfish. Are you going? Oh, are you going to get some more colors? Is what you said, Rob. I may add a shad pattern to the BSE or more translucent bluegill color, but to get the consistency and texture right to where it collapses really good and sinks perfect, the color run was limited. But we'll see. I'll talk to him about it. What are a few good pole/reel for striper fishing? So when I'm striper fishing, I'm literally fishing my exact rod. So if you guys don't know, I'm the owner and curator of Sticks. So for my Topwater set, I use the number 5. Okay, that's the torque stick, 7'4" fast action, really, really good for topwater, for striper fishing. And then from there, I do the Sticks number 6. That's the power stick. This is a 7'6" moderate fast heavy power. So it's got a lot of cushion in the tip. And then I use a 200 size, okay? Because I'm going straight fluorocarbon, 20-pound fluorocarbon. The 200 is bigger. The reel is bigger, just a bigger arbor. It helps you manage thicker diameter lines and cast them better for glide baits and Alabama rigs. So that's your subsurface stuff and then your topwater stuff. That's the Sticks number 6 and Sticks number 5, number 6. Right there. If you go to STIX Fishing, right there, boop, 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 sticksfishing.com, you can get the full set, and we knock off one whole rod cost. So they're 150 each, but if you get all 6, we throw in the additional rod because you guys aren't having to make me pay for a person to package it up and ship it all out. And right now I'm in between fulfillment centers, so I've been doing a ton of it. I've been packaging them personally. That's why if you bought in the last month, you probably noticed extra lures in your tubes. I took a bunch of lures and stuff I was messing with and like a bunch of stuff I got extras, and I was filling the tubes with extra lures. So yeah, I was just giving extra away because I was taking a couple extra days to ship them. So that's on me. Sorry, I fish a lot. Let's see. Oh, that reel, that was a Corrado K 200. And I like Revo Beast and the Corrado Ks. AB 916. Oh, that was to you. Okay. Chu Chang, to Nick and everyone in the chat. Why is Folsom the strangest, hardest lake to fish in NorCal? I hate that lake. I always get skunked, or it's a dink fest. I've had a couple of good days at Folsom. I've had a couple of horrific days. It's funny you mentioned that. That lake, so they have silver sides, which is a type of minnow. And they have landlocked Chinook salmon there, okay? And I feel like the deep fish control how that minnow population shifts around in that lake to whether it's on or off completely. I know exactly what you're saying. It is a very, very tricky lake. You have to be ready to fish deep or fish dirt shallow at the blink of a hat. And if you don't check both of them within the first couple hours, you're going to kick yourself because it was one or the other. But when that lake shuts down, it shuts down hard. I know exactly what you're saying. There was actually a pretty good float and fly bite there this year too. Let's see. Was just talking about this today. What is this? June said, I was just talking about this today with a buddy about Folsom Lake. We were saying, oh man, I might have something to do with them always releasing water. Yeah, that can play a big part too. when you're releasing water, it puts a ton of pressure on the fish. I know there's Alabama strain and northern strain spotted bass in there. Largemouth hate dropping water. Hate it. They won't drop beyond like 30 foot, but they hate it. When they got to pull down and they're going to reestablish, they're going to stress out for like a week or two at a time. Spotted bass are a little bit more lenient on that. Alabamas are typically roaming around chasing bait anyways. But targeting northern strains, spotted bass on the more pure vertical stuff, like when they drop water fast, the more vertical structure you can find is better because fish do not get overly stressed out from going straight up and straight down. If they have to move laterally, that stresses them out. Budget-friendly skipping rod and reel, and line your skipping bait and the hook. Oh, here we go. And that's Jason. Here you go, right here. This is the one I'm always skipping. I'm either skipping the Savage Gear Tough Toad that I designed, or this Big Bite Baits BSE. This is the torque stick. The stick's number 5. This is a Revo SX 9-to-1 gear ratio. Pure 65-pound braid. All the crazy skipping content, highlights where I'm skipping the curves and everything. I don't even know how many revisions I did. It had to be close to 20 revisions on this rod to get this thing that good. This is the best frog rod, best skipping, spook, buzzbait rod you can possibly get your hands on. The rod by itself is $150. Like I said, you can buy all 6, and we throw in that extra rod for you at stixfishing.com. Go check that out. This setup right here is so good, man. I don't know anybody that skips nearly as much as me. Tooting my own horn, I do fish over 250 days a year, but even the days that I'm not fishing all day, I'm still fishing at home, and I go make a lap, and I'm skipping nonstop. This rod is insanely good, man. So if you're short a little bit of money, save up. It's $150, a screaming deal, dude. These are all high-end composite rods with carbon nano mesh right there. You could feel a moth fart on this thing from 30 feet away, man. It's crazy sensitive. This is a fast action 7'4", but I did add a little bit more taper. So it's almost mod fast, which gives you the control and a little bit of cushion because we're going straight braid. In the wintertime, I have an extra reel that I just switch out for 17-pound fluorocarbon for smaller glides and, you know, flipping bushes and stuff like that, and jigs. Also phenomenal for that. That's the Stix torque stick. That's number 5. You could also, if you're on, you could always go on to one of my videos and leave a comment with your email and say, hey, tell me more about that, and I'll fill you in more about my rods or send you a link. Tackle Warehouse has them, but we also have them at stixfishing.com. So whatever route you want to go. Let's see. Folsom sounds like Green Peter here in Oregon. I've heard of Green Peter. My cousin actually lives over by Green Peter. I've never been there. Nicholas. Hey, cool name, man. Hey, Nick. I met you at our local Trader Joe's. Man, I don't shop at Trader Joe's. I'm glad you're doing good. Man, you know what, dude? I used to have this idea that Trader Joe's was like overly expensive. It's not. They got good deals, man. And they got those dehydrated chili mangoes. I got to go to Trader Joe's, man. That's like the greatest snack in the boat ever. I just let out the real goods right there. Dehydrated mangoes with chili powder. Whew. It's the truth, man. Does Folsom Lake produce trout? I remember fishing. Oh, you guys are, I think you guys are having a side conversation there. Adam Sanders. Hey, it's Sanders. Tough toad, easiest toad to skip by far. So, you know what? Let me grab a bag of tough toads. We're gonna hold on Adam for a second right here. We gotta hold on Adam. Hold on to Adam. All right. So, soft plastic toads, I'm a big fan of. I used to rig them on buzz baits. I would rig them straight all the time back in the day. Let me show you guys what I did for the fish community. And like, if you have never heard of a Savage Gear Tough Toad and you fish frogs, sorry, you've been missing out, okay? My problem is with soft toads is they sink. This is TPE, man. This stuff stretches like crazy and it floats, okay? I'm literally averaging on the tough toad 25 to 35 bass per toad without it ripping, okay? You can easily fix it up. And then everybody goes, What hooks do you use for it? We actually include 3 hooks that I did custom for this toad. 5/0 EWGs, and I put a custom hard offset right there in the neck. See that? Which holds that toad even better. The package comes with 3 of these things. So compared to a hollow body frog, let's round down. Let's even go 20 fish per toad. And I'm telling you, it's probably 35, 40. You're talking 20, 40, 60 bass for, I think it's like $8 or $9 a package. And you get the 3 hooks with it. So if you guys haven't caught on to the tough toad, you literally don't miss. I got a video. I got a backlash. I made this skip under a fence, and I had cottonwood in my spool. So I'm sitting there picking out the cottonwood for the longest, and I start reeling in, and I'm like, dude, where's my toad? And you see it. Dude, I'll throw the link in the comments right here. I got the whole thing filmed. It's on my Instagram or something. Way behind the boat, wham. So just like that, dude, I was mesmerized by it. And I said, dude, you can't set the hook late. You can't set the hook too soon on a tough toad. If they get it, they got it. Like, it's a no-brainer, dude. You don't miss them nearly like you do a hollow body. And the walking tough toad is coming out this year. And the XL tough toad's coming out this year. So we'll have even a bigger version, and we'll have the walking version in those sizes too. So I'm crazy stoked about that. I'm going to have a fun year. Here we go. All right, who did I miss? And that was Adam. Okay, Robert. Ever use a Savage Gear frog on an underspin in Frank's, and it seemed to catch some fish, but nothing big? I've never put a tough toad on an underspin. I'll try it. I'll throw it next time I go out there. I'll throw it out back just to see what it looks like. That's funny. Chew. What's your favorite treble hook for glide baits? Round bend or EWG? This is going to require a little explanation. If a fish, imagine, let me just grab one of these crankbaits. All right, I took the trebles off. I'm switching trebles out right now. If a fish engulfs your bait, nothing beats an EWG style treble hook, because once they pin them, they don't lose them. Now, what you're going to notice on every single glide bait that I use, let's just grab this one, round bend treble hooks. If something comes up and broadside something, a round bend will hook it. A lot of the time the fish come up and they hit a glide bait from the side, they swipe at it, and you'll hook them with a round bend. The larger the bait or a topwater bait, I always do round bends. If it's a bait that I feel like the bass is going to eat entirely, I always use EWGs. Sometimes I go as far as putting an EWG on the front and a round bend on the back, in case they swipe it versus in case they eat it. Yeah, that's obsessed, but that is the choice of how you use it. Spears. BKK Spears. These are my favorite. The round bend is the SS21. That's the super slide coating. Insanely sharp. If you got shaky hands like me, warning, be careful. They will hurt you. Fishing with Maddie. Been out on the Delta recently. I haven't been there in 2 weeks. I've been filming at Salt Springs. I was supposed to go today, but it's like 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts and raining. I really didn't feel like it because I can't run the cameras. Hey, anybody else new watching? Can you give me the thumbs up? I'd appreciate it. Yeah, so I was supposed to go out there today. Friday is supposed to be like 50-mile-an-hour gusts, so I'm going to hold out for a little bit. Do you have a report about the Delta? Has the bite picked up yet? Have you been out in a few weeks? I know exactly what is happening and what is not happening on the Delta. So, the shallow bite has started, but it's not wide open. There is chatterbait fish being caught. There is spinnerbait fish being caught. I caught a couple big ones. You see me post on the spinnerbait, but the water didn't get very cold. We still have a lot of LOD out there. That's our grass that we have out there. And all of our shad did not die off. There's still a lot of juvenile stripers busting shad in the river right now, like crazy. All right. What's really killing it just like you see me doing last fall. Oh, right here. I forgot I tied it back on. What's really killing it, let me see how many things I can get stuck to on the way back over to the table here. Right there. 4.8 swim bait. That's the Big Bite Pro Swimmer. That's in that pearl shad with a underspin, okay? That is murking them right now. All the way from the trough, which means right where the rocks meet the water, all the way out in grass lines. That is a mass producer right now. Probably out fishing everything. 1.5 and 2.5 red square bills are also doing really good up against riprap. There's not a lot of fish buried in the grass. In the staying water, your chatterbait's going to be your best bet still. I would use it in a half ounce, especially with this wind. These fish are going to move out of the super shallows. They're probably going to be 3 to 6, so your half ounce will help you stay down. All right. Is the Delta less of a fishery now than it was in the past with sea lions and all day eating them? Absolutely, the Delta has been hurt from sea lions. No doubt about it. It's absolutely been hurt and damaged from sea lions. We have sea lions that are being born and raised now. Easy way to tell if you hear a sea lion come up and you don't smell its body odor, it's a Delta native. And they do need to be relocated or managed. They need to release some tags or whatever they need to do. They need to manage it. When I had my incident, when I hit and killed that sea lion, no, I didn't get fined for it or anything. I was just making a report. It was a report ticket number if you watch that video. Tons of people reached out to me about accidents they had. A couple of people totaled their boats. It just never made the public's eye. There's been a lot of accidents from these sea lions. It's getting a little bit out of hand. The sturgeon numbers, the salmon numbers, I think are direct correlation with sea lions, way more over farming. But now we're getting political. Say hello from Indonesia. Hey, that's cool, man. Hello. Fishing with Matthew. It truly does work. Steve Cooper created an underspin trick. Oh, with the frog? That's cool. Have you ever used them with weighted EWG to go through heavier cover? Yes, I have. Yeah. I put it on a Texas rig before to get down there. It's just like a creature bait. Still catches them. It's not what it was intended for, but it works. Is the BKK Spear 21 SS strong enough for braid to leader? Well, yeah, for bending out. So I think your bend point's at about 15 pounds of pressure before they start to flex at size 1. And then when 1/0, you have a thicker diameter. I believe that's a 1X or a 2X at that point. But, I mean, if your drag's locked down with a largemouth, you're not going to bend your hooks. On a striper, you don't want your drag locked down anyways. So that would be a bad idea to do that with stripers. You always want your drag kind of backed off and you control it with your thumb, because the initial run, you're asking for failure. If your drag's too tight, it causes stripers to start death rolling and your line can get caught behind their gill plates and they can cut you off, or they'll open your split rings. They'll cause a lot of damage to your glide or to your lures or your big top waters. I think, oh wait, hold on, here's one more. I've been out 21 pounds on jackhammers, pretty shallow. Yeah, so they were shallow. Look at it out there right now. 30-mile-an-hour wind for the next important call coming here, so I got to let you guys go. But everyone, thanks for tuning in. If you could drop me a thumbs up,